Everyone, it's Libby from maighstirtarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Worimi First Nations people, the traditional custodians of the land on which these videos are made, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides, and the universal energies. Entertainment only, full of allegedlys and perhaps and maybes and all the rest of it. What I want to have a look at, this passed my my table this morning. Oh, goodness me. And I have posted the article in my post section. So go to the little pink circle or maighstirtarot under any video. It'll take you to the main page, and from there you'll be able to find the post section. I do put a lot in there that I either do expanded readings on, or I don't read on at all, but I think that you guys might be interested in. So what I want to have a look at is the Poland. Let's go to Poland. Not only did Poland have a couple of fly things come into its territory last week, the news has now come out. Now this is the president who is in clashing opposition with the prime minister. So the governing or the governance, this is one thing I'm going to say, demand governance, not governing as you go forward. Governance is about doing for the people, by the people, what is needed for the people. Governing is basically somebody dictating to you what you need. So that would be like someone coming in and dictating to me what I'm going to wear of a morning. Well, they can go and put that where the sun don't shine, because I will look in my wardrobe and through governance decide what I'm going to wear. And I can change my mind on that as well. Seems I nearly put a summer dress on this morning and decided, oh, not quite yet, not quite there yet. Beautiful day out though. So in Poland, so remembering that President Karol Nawrocki, I'm sure I've pronounced that incorrectly, so I'll just call him Prez Karol, was over visiting the Orange Twerp a couple of weeks ago. That was after the twerp had been missing for a week. That was before the drone flying things incurred into Poland, which ended up with both Polish and Dutch jets scrambling to shoot them out of the air. Poland. Okay, so what's happened is that I believe about 30,000 legal protests were filed within a couple of weeks of the election with the Polish Supreme Court, demanding a investigation into the v0te things. So what's happened is that the Supreme Court, I'm assuming it's the Supreme Court, I've put the article there. Anyhow, there has been a recount of 10 polling stations. There are 28,000 polling stations across Poland. So we're only talking about 10 of them out of 28,000. Out of the 10 polling stations that had a hand recount, 7 out of the 10 showed that I'll call him Rafat, the opposition leader, the guy that was running against Karol, had more votes than what was counted. Votes had gone missing. Now, strangely enough, none of the votes for Karol went missing. They were all for the guy that apparently lost. Now, Karol won that election, allegedly, by 50.89%, less than 1%. So if there is 0.5 of, actually even less than that, 0.45% of votes were found either should have gone the other way or weren't counted, so less than 1%, then that meant Rafat won, not Karol. And Karol being buddies with the Orange Twerps. Gee, strange that. And also pro, the rushy dudes. So what's going to come out of this? Now, I did read 2 months ago on this that there was dodginess, and I want to have a look. So what have we got here? What other notes? So this is in front of the Supreme Court at the moment. They're going to rule on the validity of the election. It's up to their Supreme Court, and believe it or not, they actually have an honest Supreme Court over there. Prime Minister Tusk. So basically what happened is that they've got the president, then underneath that's the Prime Minister. Whereas in Australia, we've got the Governor General, who is on behalf of the King Charles, and then we have our Prime Minister below that. Prime Minister Tusk has come out and said the honest have nothing to fear with a recount. But of course, those in Carol's camp are claiming that the recount calls are, oh, you're just sore losers. You know, where have we heard that rhetoric? You know, can't accept that they lost. Okay, so this is what potentially could have happened if Biden and Harris had demanded a recount, but that's aside the point. So Tusk has basically come out and he's pushing for a full recount, saying that the honest have nothing to fear. So let's have a look. Did Carol Naroki really win the election? So what's going to happen with these votes? I'm using the Golden Universal Tarot, and when I'm talking about votes cast, etc., Pentacles mean overseas interference. That's going to come out, and we've got a judgment moment. Big judgment moment. Now, if about cheating, abuse of power, betrayal, deceit, you name it. So when I'm talking about votes, Pentacles for me mean the votes. So what is this recount? Okay, how's this going to go for Carol Naroki? Apparently he was only sworn in like a month ago. Trump was his first overseas visit. Let's have a look. How's this going to go for Carol Naroki? How's it going to go? As I said, entertainment only. How's it going to go? He allegedly won by less than 0.9%. How's it going to go for him? Right, first card out that popped out. This is the here and now. Vote fiddling, pretty much. Vote flipping. This is my vote flipping card. Love to know if Starlink was involved. So this figure here on 1 foot, he's actually on solid ground. Standing on 1 foot, looking closely at votes that went one way that should have gone another. Let me just put it that way. I mean, they may have been miscounted. But let's have a look. Challenged by, this is the 30,000 protests lodged. I believe the Supreme Court is expecting that to get up to 60,000 by the time they make a ruling. This is very much about, I'm feeling it's more that votes weren't counted rather than flipped. So this is about vote counting. This is about votes not being counted, pretty much is the challenge. Left out in the cold, not counted. It's got the vibe of ballot boxes missing, if that makes sense. The energy is stewing in at the moment. Sitting tight, waiting for a ruling to come down. The four of wands is what I'm getting out of there. It can be my White House card, but it feels more like it's an official government building where they're going, okay, thank you, where they're going through the harvest, through the motions. Okay, so how's it going to go? Doing the work there. It feels like, to me, it feels like recounting. Some sort of official government building. In the past, there's that card again, the abuse of power, the betrayal, the deceit, the steal, deception, claiming victory, sabotage, all sorts of lovely things. Crowning this reading is the gift that was awarded in the past. Got the red hat on here. The gift that was awarded to Carol. So how's this going to go for him? Smoke, mirrors, delusion, poor choices, bad ethics, you name it, the immediate future. There's going to be confusion about it. Expect a lot of propaganda if you're in Poland, trying to either put shade on the recount, Supreme Court, opposition, Rafat, etc. Yeah, muddying the waters, cloud, smoke and mirrors, wool over the eyes, that type of thing in the immediate future. So expect an outpouring of this. Externally, the Emperor sitting upon his throne, claiming my way or the highway, control. But internally, a lot of reports are going to come out, even more. 70% of polling stations have shown that the count was erroneous, is the word my guides are giving me. Expect more, a lot more. Hopes and fears. The Three of Wands. Information coming in from overseas perhaps, or looking overseas for help is what I'm getting from that card. Looking overseas from help. The outcome for Carol, nightmare situation. He's not going to like what is presented to him. Nine of Swords, Four of Cups. He's not going to like the truth when it is presented to him. And about the steal. About making out like a bandit. Going to try and keep a lid on the situation with the Queen of Cups. And here is Russia making an appearance. And then we've got the Queen of Swords, some sort of legal action that's going to bring about a new beginning. Ace of Cups, a cleansing, just a new beginning. I think and Carol's going to find himself very potentially restricted, legally restricted. There might be some sort of agreement that's made with that Two of Cups. But the information against him is this might even be the information about the agreement that was made. It's going to be too much. It's going to be overwhelmingly too much. International Legal Court might get in, ICC. Pretty sure they'll have legislation about foreign interference in elections. The foolishness but new start. The foolishness and new start. Oh man, what a mess. We've got here the Knight of Cups, the false friend with the false victory, trying to reap what was harvested. It's not going to go well for Carol. I think I said at the time, I can't remember that reading. As I said, it was 2 months ago. I can't even remember what I said, 5 minutes ago when I've got my guides chatting in my ear at me. I don't think he's going to be staying there. So show me Rafat. Rafat. Show me Rafat. The future. Things are going to change. So we've got the poor choices, the lack of integrity. Things are going to change. And I'm not saying Rafat with the lack of integrity. It's due to the poor choices, smoke and mirrors, lack of integrity. So show me Rafat. Is Rafat going to end up the president of Poland? Come on down, let's have a look. Okay, well, he's got the speaking stick. Oh, look what's on the bottom. A implosion moment where what was is torn down. So I'm talking about Carol. This is those that are currently sitting in the position. So there's going to be some sort of declaration, announcement coming forward, articulate orator. The challenge is that the information that comes out is just going to be too much. Too much. It's going to bring an ending. The energy stewing in at the moment, well, is this manipulation or is this the ability to manifest the correct outcome? It's creating something out of nothing, but as I said, it can be if I'm talking low energy, this isn't Raffet. I'm not expecting him to actually turn up until over here. Because this is the here and now, can be the manipulation, but it can also be the information coming forward, because we've got the wand for messaging, the sword for truth, the cup for the emotional cleansing or the new cleansing beginning, and the pentacle for protection. In the past, there's Carol as the emperor, my way or the highway wannabe dictator in the past. I think he's going to be out of here. The Hanged Man, looking at this from a different point of view, because I'm asking about Raffet. Suspended, sacrifice perhaps, or just patiently waiting. As he said, the honest have nothing to fear from a recount being done. US, are you listening? So also I'm drawn to the halo, the divine halo. So this is about waiting one's time. Waiting for one's time. Okay, the immediate future. The Polish Supreme Court. Look at these major arcana surrounding these two cards in the middle here. This could be a ruling coming down in the immediate future. It's the higher authority, Supreme Court, government, etc. Oh, an investigation being ordered externally, shining a light in the path. That will bring about a new beginning. Looking very carefully at the votes, a new vote. Could be a new election, or just investigation into the votes, and a lot of votes being presented. The outcome, the hopes and fears, the false knight, the false friend, going over the water. Something's going over the waterfall here. An offer being made that is not to be trusted, pretty much. The outcome, we've got the false victory, we've got the temperance card, and we've got the illegal ruling, justice being bought. So the false victor, I'm going to say being overturned, because you've got the new dawn, the new dawn, the cup being, the liquid being poured from cup to cup, and then you've got justice. And then on the bottom, you've got the Tower. As unexpected news comes forward, big news comes forward, something unexpected is revealed, big news comes forward, and then, boy oh boy, bit of infighting, as there is a whistleblower or the truth is being brought forward about the vote flipping. If I keep going, we've got probably the Supreme Court making a ruling, or this can be the legislative, the abuse of power, the betrayal, the deceit, the sabotage. Somebody's desperately trying to hang on, but it's going to end for them as the king is trampled underfoot. This is not going to end well for Carol. Now, I don't know if Raffet is simply going to be put in, or whether there will be a new election called once Carol is, because I don't think his position is going to be sustainable to even be in Parliament. So they may call a new election with a new leader of that party. a new representative. It's a bit like the US in that, just because one side is being proven to have stolen it doesn't mean the other automatically gets put in, and I know that's controversial for many. How is this going to reflect on the US election? Because I keep seeing that it is something from overseas that is going to really cause a upset in regards to the US election, in regards to it being stolen. How's this going to affect the US, the investigation into the US election? Right, well, there's a lot of strength there. There's strength in this case. The Chariot, the military, movement forward, vote trails, mercenary actions in the past. How's this going to affect what's in the US? A lot of information coming out really quickly, possibly about how it was done, but how's it going to? Desperately trying to hold on, to keep it under wraps. We know who that is. However, we the people can also be Joe Biden in this particular one. But this could be we the people as well. But this is some leader coming forward. I think we don't even know who this leader is, coming forward and really looking at this closely. Big stick moment internally as overwhelming information is presented. Then you've got the stay in your bunker with the infighting, the throwing under the bus, but here's the voters not accepting with that 8 of Cups. It's also the Eclipse card, and then we've got action being taken, announcement being made, disappointment with what's on offer as the steel is exposed, and you've got the orange twerp there, and he's heading for the hills. You've got the abuse of power, the sabotage, the money changing hands and votes flipping, etc. Dark money, nightmare, everything changing. With the wheel card. This is noose tightening information that's going to come out. It's not going to actually be there's going to be something exposed here that is just that the those that are pushing back on the election cheating are going to be able to put a handle on. It's almost like one more really definitive exposure. So let's just have a quick look. Using the yes/no cards again, entertainment only. Is Poland going to have another presidential election in light of the information that comes out? Is Poland going to have another presidential election? Oh, yes and yes. Yes. So I think there's going to be another election. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. As I keep going, yes, I think they are. I think they're actually going to go to the polls again, potentially just for that position. Oh boy. And yes, it is going to reflect on other elections that had happened. Okay, love to you all. Take care.